For this episode, I'll be exploring the Mexican border town of Tapachula. Tapachula is located on the southern border of Mexico, adjacent to Guatemala. This city is known for its logistics and agricultural output, but for years, it's been known as a human trafficking hub. Human trafficking is controlled by the many gangs and criminal elements found throughout Mexico and Central America. But lately, one gang has been taking control of the area, and that gang is known as Tren de Aragua. This gang came out of the prisons of Venezuela to wreak havoc on wherever they go. They make their money by extortion, drug trafficking, robbery, and other illicit activities. Tapachula sits right at the meeting point of migrants whose goal is to make it to the USA. It's also where many of the human caravans that we see all over social media start. During the Biden presidency, millions poured across the border as President Biden turned a blind eye towards this problem. But that all changed when President Trump returned to power and vowed to make America great again. So did it work? I read many reports that the amount of migrants crossing illegally has decreased greatly, and that even the president of Mexico, Claudia Sheinbaum, was getting tired of dealing with her own southern border. Since I have a great distrust of mainstream media, I decided to see for myself. I want to talk to the few migrants that are still lingering in the city, so I decided to go to a refugee center. But first, I wanted to grab some breakfast. Okay, my first breakfast in Tapachula. Very local place. It's called Taquitos Casablanca. Got 3 tacos for breakfast, all kinds of sauces, and coffee, my water, and time to dig in. The reason I chose this spot is it's across the street from the immigration center, right across the street. That's where all the migrants are gonna get ask for asylum and all that. So I want to see if I can talk to them. Maybe I should bring them a coffee or something where kind of butter them up a little. But anyway, I'm gonna dig in and man, I got the full spread here for breakfast. Anyway, here I am in the middle of Tapachula. I just had breakfast behind me. It's called what's the name of it? Oh, right here, Casablanca. Not a bad place for your breakfast. Pretty cool people. Anyway, the reason I had breakfast here was across the street is the immigration office, and the people you see lined up once that truck leaves is they're here from other countries trying to get to either get to stay in Mexico or hopefully move on. But as we know, this is being recorded in May 2025, and the border between USA and Mexico has been shut. So as we all know, a lot of people are still coming, but not like before. And now they're trying to see if they can stay here in Mexico, because most likely in Mexico there's more better job opportunities and all that. But anyway, the reasons are long and complex. What we're gonna try to do here is see if anyone wants to talk, tell me their story. Why are they here? So we'll find out in a minute. Nobody wanted to talk to me on camera. In fact, everyone had a scared look on their face when I arrived. Yeah, nobody's talking. So I guess they're probably scared that it's gonna go all over the internet, and they don't want their I told them I'd blur out their faces and keep their identity secret, but what are you gonna do? I can't force anyone to talk against their will. That's not how I roll. But anyway, just to get a better view, this is the immigration office. It's a lot calmer than I thought. I'm thinking because the amount of migrants have been reduced so vastly. And oh, by the way, this is not the only immigration office here. There's plenty. They're all over the city. And what happens is that when you have an immigration office, you have the law office there too to process their paperwork. And a medical center here. This is where I had breakfast. What I'm going to do now is walk through Tapachula. I looked at a map. I kind of figured my way around. I'm going to go to the Central Park here and do a little sightseeing, and maybe I'll find some people there. All right. But anyway, just to give everyone a view of what I'm seeing, this is how it looks like. Obviously, some parts of the city are much nicer than the others. This is kind of like close to the center. Not as highly developed as other cities in Mexico, but not as run down either. Now, there are some parts here that are really, really run down, and there are other
parts of the city that are obviously much more upscale. Like on the way in here, I passed by a Holiday Inn and it had the Starbucks and all that. So obviously I'm not going to film there because what am I going to show? But anyway, maybe I'll have better luck going to the park and walking around there. All right, signing off. Upon walking around the center, I came across the St. Joseph Cathedral. Okay, here's the main cathedral for Tapachula. It's called San Jose Cathedral. I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not a fan of this style of modern architecture. It's kind of like that brutalist thing. I'm not, you know, I'm not an expert on this topic, but I pretty much way prefer the colonial style that you see in towns like Aguascalientes and all that. So, I mean, it is what it is, but yeah, I'm not a fan of this architecture. So, all right, let's go check it out inside. Okay, just took a quick tour inside. Like I said earlier, I'm not a big fan of this type of architecture, but the inside was nice. It made up for, especially the stained glass window. What I find amusing is that you have a Catholic church here, and right behind me, you have a Baptist church right there. So I guess something for everyone, or something, or at least for these two denominations. Been pretty interesting, and all right, I'm gonna keep walking around. I had an interesting conversation with a Mexican native of Tapachula. He requested to not be on camera. Okay, I just got the lowdown from a local. I was trying to talk to another migrant, and unfortunately the language barrier, he actually was trying, I think he was smiling enough to agree, but I don't think he understood what I was saying. He only spoke French Creole, and I don't speak a word of it. And he didn't speak any Spanish or English or Italian for that matter. So anyway, a local guy happened to see me trying to communicate, and he agreed to talk to me, but not on camera. So this is the aftermath. He's a local, born and raised here. And he informed me that what has happened lately, all the caravans, he said this very park was full of migrants. Like you couldn't even walk through it. It was like that packed. And what he did, that since the whole effect of Trump closing the border between USA and Mexico and the whole open border policy that we had under Biden, now that the after effects are being felt this way, like the saying goes, you throw a rock in a pond, it ripples everywhere. He said that back in the day, all of this was full of migrants, all of this, and you couldn't barely walk through. Now they're all gone. They've either been processed or put in asylum centers, or they went home. And he seemed happy about it. He was telling me that his city that he loves, he told me it was a great city, he loves this place. He was upset that it was being like overrun by migrants, and he was actually happy that Trump did what he did. And he feels much safer, he feels better, he's happy now, and he says all the people that didn't have to be here are now gone. I get his point of view, and I know the mainstream media likes to spin this whole thing as, oh, it's a human rights violation, but they never take time to talk to the people of the cities that these people are staying in, how it's affecting them, like the rise in crime and all that. I mean, it's important to have an open heart. It's important to feel sympathy for your fellow man, but when one of them robs a native, it hurts, and it makes a bad name on everybody. So anyway, he pretty much said what I'm looking for. He said 90% of the migrants are now gone, and with that, there's only a few stragglers left, and the few that are left here couldn't find a way to get home, or were waiting for their families to send them money so that they can get a ticket home. And that's what we're dealing with here now. So anyway, that's it for now. I'm gonna walk through the park one more time and think maybe I can go to the Museum of Archaeology, get a little bit of culture inside here since I'm here. And but so far everyone's been friendly. I mean, for all the bad reputation this place gets, I'm really surprised at how opening and friendly everyone is. I did get a few strange looks, but it's usually because I'm trying to talk to migrants and all that, but no issues at all. All right, signing off. Okay, made it to the Museum of Archaeology. There it is. Another square here, and just to show you this, I like the square a lot more than the other ones. This one has a lot more life. A lot of artisans selling their wares here. You got a lot of places to eat, so I might get my lunch there later. And a lot more life. I hear music, people are smiling, happy. There's another pretty church over there, so I'm definitely gonna walk around, but I'm gonna check out this museum first, because one thing I like to take in is the local culture and the local history. And let's see if they let me film inside. Maybe they will. All right, signing off. Okay, so I just finished visiting the Museum of Archaeology. It's very interesting. Unfortunately, they do not allow filming, but I did snap a lot of photos. They did say your phone's allowed to take photos, but not filming. So I will do a collage of the photos I took in there, so you can see what I saw. Here's a big tip: it's free. So if you're here on Tapachula on a budget, by all means, come here. It's free. Can't beat the price, so it's as good as it gets. So if you're, definitely it's recommended, and you get to learn something. What's wrong with that? All right, I'm gonna keep walking around. There's a church over there that I want to check out, and yeah, and hopefully I'm still looking for a migrant to talk to. They still refuse to talk to me. I've ran into a handful, and again, same deal. Well, I finally found someone that was willing to talk to me. For security reasons, I'll keep his identity secret. For what he was about to tell me will shock you. For the video's purpose, I'll use the name Freddy. He is from Caracas, Venezuela, and was fleeing the maniacal regime of Nicolas Maduro. Some of the topics that we discussed will be the smuggling of humans, sexual violence, political violence, and the wickedness of Tren de Aragua. He also confirmed what we all suspected, that the Tren de Aragua is working under the command of the Venezuelan government. Please listen at your own discretion. Y tú me has contado, saliste de Caracas y cruzaste el Darién.
Crucé el Darién.
Ay, Dios mío, por bien.
Panamá, crucé Panamá, Costa Rica.
Ah, no, gracias.
Gracias.
Es una cámara.
Que la imagen de uno no puede salir visible, porque como hay grupos de Venezuela que es el Tren de Aragua,
sí,
está aliado con el gobierno. ¿Me entiendes? ¿Qué hacen ellos? Ven tu imágenes, como ya sabes que tú protestaste contra de ellos y estuviste en contra de ellos, que no vas a favor de ellos. Ellos saben dónde estás, dan la ubicación tuya por la imagen y te mandan a joder o te mandan a asesinar. Porque tienes información de cómo es el movimiento allá en Venezuela.
Sí, del SEBIN y todo eso.
Del SEBIN, todo. ¿Me entiendes?
Wow.
Y por eso que tratamos, por lo menos, cada quien cuida su imagen.
Sí, no entiendo, ahora entiendo más, porque
a veces nos quieren grabar de frente en la comal.
Sí, pero saben que están moviendo.
Sí, ¿me entiendes? Y por lo menos tratamos de evitar eso.
Y voy a hacerte algo, yo conocí a alguien en Venezuela, en Miami, me está contando que el cantidad de dinero que tiene el gobierno es increíble. Por ejemplo, él dice que si tú vas a los Roques o lechería, tú ves los yates, los políticos, y viven como millonarios.
Ahí todo lo que se maneja.
Sí.
En Venezuela, lo que es lechería, los Roques, Isla La Tortuga, La Horchila. La Horchila es una isla privada para el gobierno. Solamente privada para el gobierno.
No me digas.
Allá hay casa presidencial.
Sí, pienso que
allá hay de todo, pero nada más eso lo maneja puro militar y gobierno.
Sí.
Ahorita el monopolio lo tienen los militares, porque están robando el dinero del pueblo.
Y también yo pienso, ellos no quieren tumbar el gobierno porque ellos van a perder todo.
Ellos se benefician del gobierno con lo que es el...
Cuando oigo los cuentos que hacen las mujeres, les violan, a veces no cruzan y los
la violan a las niñas. Y
ay, Dios mío, eso es...
En el Darién.
Ese es algo que...
No, es que estando la ONU ahí, no manda al ejército. Y sabiendo, la ONU sabe quiénes son los que están robando. La ONU, los mismos funcionarios saben quién es lo que están jodiendo lo del pueblo, de Bajo Chiquito. Son los mismos indígenas que trabajan, que hacen el traslado de las lanchas. Son los mismos que roban y violan a las niñas.
Ay,
violan a las niñas que vienen con sus padres.
Eso es triste.
Violan a las mujeres. Si la ven muy así grandota, la violan.
Ese es triste.
Y sí, yo vi muertos bastante por ahí en la selva. Vi alrededor. Lo que pasa es que yo pasé una temporada seca, que no estaba lloviendo. y no me metí para arriba para los cerros.
Sí.
Porque cuando está lloviendo tienes que subir por todo el cerro, por todo el lodo. Yo cuando bajé por el Darién, bajé por todo el río, estaba seco. Sí escalé unas partes, sí escalé bastante, pero cuando yo pasé, me encontré como 7 muertos, 7 cadáveres.
Ay, Dios mío, ese man.
Well, the discussion went on for another hour, and we had lunch and a few beers together. We struck up a friendship, and I promised to visit him in the future. I still keep in touch with Freddy, and I wish him the best. This also made me realize on how lucky I was to have been born in the USA. Every now and then, I need to be reminded on how blessed I am. This was one of those moments. On a lighter note, that evening I decided to try Nigerian food at a restaurant called Buka. This restaurant also serves as a hub for the local African community. Nigerian food is great, by the way. After dinner, I went to a venue called El Corralito. They played a local music, which is called marimba, and here's a sample. Well, I had to cut my evening short because I had to wake up early the next day to head to my next destination, which would be Guatemala. Stay tuned for my next episode from Guatemala. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe.